I've got my headphones on at the moment. So welcome those out there. Hopefully this is working and you guys are out there. Please let me know that you can see this. So we've got the right channel and all that stuff. We've had a crazy week, which we'll get into a little bit later on, as the channel got hacked literally the day after we did our thing last week. But we're back in action. So if you exist out there, please let us know you're watching. So it's not just 0 people there, which means I'm probably on the wrong channel. So if that's the case, we'll just get into it, maybe play for a little bit and until someone turns up. How's that sound? Oh, we got someone there. Oh, love it. It's real. It's working. We're real. So today is going to be about the electric guitar, right? So a lot of people ask me about the differences with electric guitar, acoustic guitar, or they've bought an acoustic and they're used to playing electric, or the other way around. And so, yes, we're all in action. This is good. So, yeah, ask your questions, guys. Let me know you're there, like all that sort of stuff. So we're doing our weekly session, and this time we're going to be talking about the electric guitar, but the electric guitar is quite different to the acoustic guitar. And for a lot of people out there, they want to know why it's so different and how to play the electric guitar slightly differently. Now, it's not a major difference. You don't need to quit and do one or the other. It's more of an adjustment, but I'm just going to play some guitar. I've got a backing track. That's why my headphones are on. So hopefully won't be any feedback issues, but I'm going to play a little bit of stuff, just the sort of stuff I love to play for about 2 minutes or so, maybe not even that, with a backing track from Elevated Jam Tracks. He's my favorite, absolute favorite creator of backing tracks on YouTube. So Elevated Jam Tracks is who I'm using. And I'm just going to play one of his what's called Deep Dramatic Ballad Guitar Backing Track Jam in A minor. Oh, A minor, that's our favorite. And I've got a bit of delay on my guitar. So we'll see what happens. Get your questions in, guys. You got things to ask me? Good to see you guys come out. Here we go. Here we go. Bit of a jam to start off with, and professional fade out. Boom. Hey, so there we are, a little bit of guitar playing. I know I was in and out of shot. I was mucking around with all sorts of different things here. I've also got, I'm just going to quickly show you down here. That's all I'm going through right there. It's called a Mooer red truck. It's basically like 7 or 8 pedals jammed into one really cool pedal. And I'm just coming straight out of that. I've got a volume pedal on the floor. And so I'm just going through my little wireless thing here. volume pedal through the floor, just so I've got that little volume thing I can do there, which is I can bring in volumes and stuff like that in so easily. So I'd set up all this for you guys and for me as well, so I can have some fun, because this is what I love to do. My favorite thing to do is play electric guitar, because I don't do enough of it. And so what I do is usually plug in, I've got a big pedal board with all the incredible pedals and special little nuances, but I thought I'd just keep it simple for you, just to show you how easy it is to have a lot of fun with an electric guitar and something as simple as this. Now, you don't need that whole system. You can just have a decent amp. I'm not even going through an amp right now. I'm just going straight out of the phone jack into my computer pretty much, so that you can hear both. And really simple setup. So what I thought was, if you've got any questions to hit straight away with, I can easily just start talking. I'm seeing the comments in there. That's great. Good to see some familiar names in there. And we're just going to go and talk about electric guitar and the differences with electric guitar and acoustic. But before we start, let's have a look at what this guitar is here. So this is basically, you look at it and say, this is a Tele. I'm sorry for the glare on there, and it may be a bit washed out with that camera. But it's a Telecaster. So it's based on a Telecaster. It's actually a Jansen, which is a New Zealand company, which makes it sound like I'm sponsored by Jansen and they're friends of mine. They're not. It's just a guitar I just fell in love with when I got it off the shelf. And Robert, my good sound mate, who you might have seen in one of the videos, he's like, dude, you got to play this thing. It's amazing. And it's basically, it's like a Fender Strat neck feel with the sound of a Tele. Now, Teles, I've never had a Tele before. It's my very first one. I'm a Strat guy. But this is simple. It's really simple. It's just a neck bolted onto a body. You've got two things to worry about. You've got your volume and your tone, which I'll give you a quick demo of, and let's just have a little bit of a show of that in case you've never heard one before. So I'll just go in basic sound here, get the tone back up. So just a basic Strat, basic sort of clean tone going on. So what I'll do is I'll bring the camera down so you can see what I'm doing. Actually, I've got a special desk now, so I can do this. Woo! Going down. So I've got to get to the right spot so you can actually see me in the camera shot. There we go. So here's the guitar. We've got this pickup setting right here, right up, which is this one, this pickup right here. This is what's going on with the electric guitar right now. So if you're an acoustic guitar player, you don't know what I'm talking about, this pickup is right at the back of the guitar, and it's got a sharper tone. And if I flick it all the way to the other side, which is the only other pickup on here, which is over here, which is hard to see in that light, but it's right up here, it's a warmer tone. It's a warmer sound here, and then if I go all the way back here, sharper tone, and you can hear that sort of, just playing a G chord, nothing flashed. You can hear that big difference, and in the middle, it's a mixture of the two, which has got a real classic sort of country tone, that kind of thing. So yeah, you've got that, and then you've got volume, which is real basic. So volume is the first thing right here. If I go down to and I just back that volume right off, it goes to nothing, and I can slowly bring it up. And if I crank in a bit of distortion and I back it right off, I can have like a cool little tone, like a slightly driven sound. And then bring it up a little bit. Bring it up a bit more. And it's just a bit more heavy there. That's full right there. So you've got all these different options with rolling that off. You can do some cool stuff. I'm slightly out of tune again. That serves me right for jamming too hard. And then we've got tone over here. So if I get back to clean again, now that tone over here, I've got it full on at the moment, so it gives it the brightest tone. Now the brightest tone gives it that little, just like your treble on your speakers or on whatever device you use, bringing up the treble on the radio. And if I back that off, backs right off. It's almost as if it's muffled, you know, like it's got, which is actually, we might think, doesn't sound very, it sounds like I'm playing through a mattress or something, but it's actually really handy for certain things, like it's like a, I don't know, just different effects and stuff you can do with that kind of thing, like way down there. So I might just turn the guitar up a fraction, because I think it might be nice to. So, and if I bring that, leave that down, there's another cool thing I can do with drive. I just put a little bit of grunt on my amp, on my pedal right here. It's got like, so that's just the tone backed off. If I put the tone back on, it brings in that bright crispness if I want that. But sometimes I just want to be dirty and back in the sort of swampy. So yeah, there's a couple of little things with the guitar, but otherwise this is like the simplest guitar you can get. I know there's a little switch here which does some cool little stuff, which I might get. Well, let's just show you since I'm talking about it. I split that switch, I get a really different sound. Really kind of cool, especially for that. I'm really playing badly at the moment, but that kind of stuff. So yeah, basic little thing. I like it switched to the front, and then you've got a lot of variety there. So if I want to play this pickup, I've got a lot of kind of bluesy stuff going on. I can do that like that sort of. So you got that kind of cool tone there, right to the very top. Quite stratty tone there. I'm just got a clean tone going on, so I'm not doing anything too flashy on my pedal. There's no effects on there at the moment. It's just completely clean. Okay, so there we have it. And then, so that's one of the main things. We've got a basic guitar and some basic sounds. You can do some pretty cool stuff just with the tone. So you have that extra flexibility with having an electric guitar. You can not just do your basic sound, which we love from acoustic. If you're wanting to go to those other places and get those other songs that, you know, well, that's it. Yeah. That's what I'm after. So it's just not doing anything. I've never hit any pedals. This is just the same kind of tone, or that kind of thing. I'm gonna have to tune up very soon. Slightly out, but you get the gist. So and then that's the guitar, right? Now if I can keep going on, unless you got something special you want to ask me right now. We've got the red truck, which is the Mooer red truck, which is right below me. I'm just going to adjust the camera for you guys. So this is what it looks like here. This is the size of it, real small. I just love this thing. It's so cool. So we've got a little boost going on over here. I know it's upside down, guys, but it's just to show you roughly. I'm not going to do a detailed thing on this today, but it really does all the things I want it to do. So if I want a little bit of drive, I can just hit the drive. There's my drive there. And I can adjust this with the little knobs here, whether I want more gain or maybe just a little bit of gain. So it just gives me a little bit of crunch. I've got tone, I've got volume, really cool. And then if I turn that off next door, or let's go all the way to this end, we've got reverb over here. Now I've got a bit of shimmer on there, I'll take that off. That's what reverb does. Makes it sound like it's in a room. That's a lot. It's heavy. Turn that down. And I can change the decay, like how long it lasts, even the tone and the rate of it, all that sort of stuff. I can adjust that from there, which gives me that, makes me sound kind of like, and it's a nice peaceful. Let's give us a bit more. And then even more, let's go real heavy. If I stop it, you really notice the difference. And let's have a bit more decay. So I like that sort of stuff, and I've got my volume pedal on the floor. If I bring it up, I can actually do like chords. I'm just doing a chord like, and and I'm bringing the pedal out from 0 slowly to full, and then bring it back off to change chords. And with that decay, I put it on and off again, so it makes it quite smooth. I love that kind of thing. Let's go back a bit. So reverb next to that, I've got delay. So this one's got like a little bit of a change in the tone as it moves through. Now that echo or that delay is basically, I can change that real easily with this little tap tempo button. So see, it's flashing in the time of the tempo, tap, 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 kind of there. So I do it quite fast, so like a tap, 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 this sort of thing. It speeds up, so it's now whatever I tapped into it. So if I'm playing along to a song, I can actually tap my foot to the song and it'll actually lock into the song. So now I've got a bit more spacey kind of sound. Sounds still quite cool though in the mix. I like quite a slow delay, like 1, 2, 3, about that sort of tempo. And you can change how many of those you have, and whether it's just 1 or 2, or you can have you can change the length, and you can change the level so that whether it's quite strong, even stronger, or way back in the mix, like that, which is mostly where most people would have it. So it's not too messy. It's pretty cool. It's nice and simple. This is just one little pedal right here. It's really, this is about the price of, you know, you buy those little, just a little one pedal. This is about the price of maybe 2 or 2.5 of those. Really simple, and it's just one plug in your way, which I really love about this device. So so that's delay. There's the analog, echo. There's all sorts of fun things we can do with that. Let's just keep it there, and let's go to the next one, which is modulation, which has got tremolo or phaser or chorus. Now it's set to chorus at the moment. Chorus is interesting. If I turn it right up, if I just play one note. Now without it, with it, and I like it, it kind of swims. It makes things swim a little. Can you hear, it sort of me, it sort of sounds like it's underwater. That's why you hear a lot of famous songs will use that chorus effect that I've got going on there. So that's chorus. That's what I usually have it set to. It also has phaser, which makes it sound wow. It sounds like it's yoy yoy. Got this kind of thing going on, which Eddie Van Halen fans love. And then tremolo, which is more of a, oh, that's going to be quite interesting. I'll do it fast. Yeah, let's get to a fast one. There we go. Now that would be more like a, so it's basically the volume is almost like someone's playing with my volume pedal. And that's what tremolo does, which is pretty cool. But I'm going to go back to chorus. So this is just one effect. And let's go back to, that's probably about right for chorus. And then we'll leave that there, go back to delay. Cool. So we've got those, and the last one is distortion. Now this is the daddy. When I hit this one, this is when I'm soloing and I want it to go to another level. And I'll just hit that now. You can already hear it buzzing away, maybe a bit louder. I'll turn it down a bit. So if I boost that with the drive, it's really full on, but it's where you get that sort of. Don't want to play country all the time, but I'm doing that today. Then you've got, yeah, so that's it pretty much. And then it's just a combination of whatever you want. So if I want to, so if I'm doing something pretty, I might have some reverb on there, and I might have some delay and some modulation, which is chorus, which gives me this kind of thing, like. And I might use my volume. quite fun, right? I can have fun all day long just playing these nice little things by myself. I'll take those off and just get back to normal sound again. So quite cool, right? So electric guitar, I'm not known on YouTube as the electric guitar guy, much more just about the guitar guy with mostly acoustic stuff, doing percussive that kind of thing. But I love playing electric guitar. You've just got so much variety with it. Ricardo, can you order that guitar? I think you can. You might want to go through Jensen to figure that out. I get it through Biggs Music here in Nelson. This is Nelson, New Zealand. But I'm sure they'll be able to ship one out to you. So Jensen guitars, I think I'd showed you the neck of that. Really bad. Jensen. I'm thinking of the car, Jensen. It's a Jansen, J-A-N-S-E-N, old Kiwi company. So, and it's really, this is a cheap guitar. This is probably one of the cheaper guitars in the shop, not just because I'm in New Zealand and it's from there. Meaning cheap, not badly made. I mean, cheap as in such a bargain. It's a step up in price only a little bit from the very cheapest electric guitars that were in the shop. So, and they have some nice cheap guitars in there. So it's not an expensive guitar at all, and it just does a lot. So I'd like to learn more about the A minor pentatonic scale. So if you're learning about the A minor pentatonic scale, you're learning about all pentatonic scales basically, because the A minor is also C major if you put it in that position. It's more of a shape that you're learning, right? And usually that A minor, which is just happened to be that song I was jamming to earlier, was an A minor. So that pentatonic scale, depends what you like to learn, Ricardo, about the pentatonic scale. But I'm more interested with these scale shapes is you learning them so that you can actually adapt them and play them in real life in songs and jam tracks and actually have some experimenting and play some riffs and have some fun. So, and if that's the case in A minor, you just go backing tracks, A minor, click, and then start jamming along. So tell you what we could do is I'm going to hit a backing track, probably that same one because it was in A minor, even though it's nice, sort of a chill one. I'm using my phone because otherwise it messes things up. So I'm going to play this and I'm going to go back a bit and I'm going to show you some ideas and then talk about it. So I might just turn both of those down just a little bit so you can hear me. And I'm going to jam. I'm going to let's use a bit of drive and a bit of delay because it's pretty. Just like that. It's quite a lot. I'll turn that down. A little bit less. Cool. So let's try this out. So here's my backing track. First thing is I establish the time. I'm clicking my fingers to the time right now. And that's what I want to gauge things on. So my beats are going to lie within that. And so with my A minor scale shape, there's my scale shape there. I just want to pick a few notes and play something like 3 notes. Timing was bad. Simple like that. I'm just going to play super slow basic riffs. Now already in that little section, I played 4 notes and it with a bend. I played. I'll turn the delay off. So I've got the 4 notes that I played within the pentatonic scale, right? All I did was that note, that note, that note, that note in the pentatonic scale. 5, 7, 5, 7, and I did a bend on that 3rd finger note, which is the 7th fret of that, which is always there every time you want to bend that note in that pentatonic scale. There it is there. You can always bend that note, especially electric guitar, right? Because you can bend strings on electric guitar. So you can always do a bend there. And it's a full bend, and I'm just bringing it back again. That gives me 2 notes. 1, 2. So all those things, I've just got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 notes to choose from. And it makes me have a lot of fun. I'm just going to use those again. Have a listen again, see if you can spot that. flash. And then it goes somewhere different. But you can hear, nothing's changed. I haven't gone anywhere else. I haven't done anything flash other than those same 4 notes. Now that's been more beneficial to your playing, Ricardo, than trying to get all over the guitar playing flashy. My playing's a bit rough at the moment because I've played properly for all that sort of flashy, fiddly, widdly stuff. It's all very good and dandy, but really, if you can't just play a note that feels good with vibrato, so that's to me is more interesting, and trying to find a note that works against the chord you're hearing is really fun, even though I was playing 5 notes, 4 notes in a bend. Obviously, there's more notes, right? So we're tempted to play all over the guitar scale. No worries, Ricardo. Thank you. You said that's awesome. So you're tempted, though, with the whole scale to jump all over the place. So just don't do that, because just keep it simple. And then once you can jump around the place, you can get into that. Meldon Cardoza. Hey, Mark, could you give me tips on how to increase my picking speed faster over time? I want to play at decently fast speed, but I only got an acoustic. Is an electric needed for that? No, you can do it on acoustic. So acoustic's got thicker strings in general, whereas the electric's got these thinner strings, which is obviously the opposite of thick strings. So thinner strings can be a little bit harder to pick sometimes, to be honest, because when you go to pick it, the string moves a bit further before it gets picked and then goes back to its original position. So you're sort of pushing it back to its original position, whereas a thicker string is a bit easier for that. So an acoustic guitar is fine for your speed. Speed-wise, you just got to make sure when you're picking, let me get the camera down here. When you're picking, and hopefully this guitar is not going to blow it out too much, but as in the color of it. If you look at my thumb position, so here's my pick. I'm going to make them pick exactly in line with the strings. Can you see how it's in line with the strings? Most people think that's how we pick. It's, in other words, there's my pick in line with the strings. Really hard to see that. And then it's picking like this. But actually, that's going to be a problem because it's going to get stuck behind the string. What you want to do is angle the pick either way. I'll show you with mine. My thumb is slightly dipped. See that? Slight dip. Now you'll see the angle of the pick against the strings. It's actually like on an angle. If I use a pad over here, so instead of being in line with the strings, it's actually doing this, kind of like that. It's on an angle like this. See if you can see that again. Here's my thumb angling down. Now, if you have that, the edge of the pick is going to roll over. This is my pick here. It's going to roll over the strings. It's not going to get caught behind it. It's just going to use that rounded edge to get over the string. I'll do an exaggerated example of that and maybe lower the camera a little bit here. Whoops, other way is lower. So if I'm just picking, and by the way, you just want to glaze the string. You don't want to get stuck in behind the string too much. You just want to clip it. Just clip that string. And so what I'm doing is I'm to get speed up. It's just glazing that string. Now, if I turn it up, so it's flat now. It's now flat. People could think flat picking means the pick should be exactly flat. You get in trouble now. Look, if I try and do the same thing, it's a real challenge to get that over. So while picking at an angle, I notice the sound gets muted a bit. Is that a normal thing? No, it shouldn't get muted a little. It should be fine as long as you've got that. Maybe your palm is sitting on the guitar. That could be an issue. You might want to give us a get in touch with me, Meldoza. Meldoza, sorry, combining your name now. Meldoza. It's a great name. So what you should probably do is get in touch with me, mate, and just do a little one-on-one session, which I'm encouraging everyone to do because it's I've got a lot of spots available at the moment, being the beginning of the year, and I'm just hanging out waiting to meet you guys and see if I can help you. So yeah, look at that. Nikita, my wife, she's on it right there, throwing in the description below. So because that's the best thing for me to see your playing, because let's get the camera back up. So I can actually see what you're doing. So I can tell pretty quickly what's going on with your technique and help you get a lot better than I am at even picking, which is just by finding a few fundamentals, and then you can work on it. And usually it's a real easy fix. It's only a few little things that need to be done. So hopefully that helps. So but picking is a few things that, the other thing to think about with picking, just to finish that off, is, and I'll be with your question in a minute, the Amro, is just it's from the arm. we don't pick from our thumb or our fingers so much. We really want to come from the elbow right here. It's actually, if I think of it from the elbow, I can go faster and really small as well, really small. That means you can pick faster. But anyway, so Amro, you had a question there. So my wife just chucks it up for me. Look at that. Hey Mark, how's it going? My question is, can you give us some ideas on how to start playing up the neck, meaning not the open chords area? Really cool. So that's where you mean for chords, or do you mean for soloing, Amro? If you could just throw that back in there, Amro, just let me know if it's you meaning for chords or you're meaning for soloing, because they're quite different. And I could just rattle off on that sort of thing. But if you want to, meaning not in the open chords area. So maybe you're thinking soloing, because if you're talking about the open chords area, that might, you've already mentioned soloing at that point, maybe. You even mentioned soloing, but you're basically getting at that. For chords. For chords. So getting up the neck for away from normal, so your basically C's and your G's and that sort of stuff. It's a good question. So let me lower the camera again a little bit. Oh, that way. So when we're playing a lot of stuff, we learn down here, right? We're doing our C's and G's, and we're not impressed with people as guitarists, are we? Unless they're playing these crazy shapes with weird fingers and then like, you know, and then all around the place up here, right? I'm turning the drive off. So, and that is a good question. So what I found is it's best to learn bar chords, and that's obviously bar chords are going to get you up. So if a C chord here, I've got a C chord up here on the 8th fret, which is basically an E shape. And it's a little bit of caged system stuff here. But if you're going to be playing a song, let's say the song was C, G, like C, G, A minor, F. Okay, 4 chords. C, G, A minor, F. Well, I'd find one alternative for each of those chords in a different position up the neck. Okay, so for example, so we went C first. So I'd be like, okay, there's my, I know there's a 8th fret here, there's a C note, and that's my major shape here for a C. Sorry, for a, it's an E major shape technically from down here, but I've got a C shape right up here. So if I learn that C shape and I replace that, so my song might be what? I'm just doing a basic version here for you guys, just to give you an idea. Sounds like the start of Let It Be with a different groove. So we've got C. The next chord was a G, right? Well, I could just use the same shape and just go down to the 3rd fret and play a G major chord, just like that. That would give me that chord. So I'd go. That would give me another option. It's not this option or this option. And then the next one would be the A minor. So I've got one at the 5th fret, and I just go from a major shape to a minor shape. That becomes an A and a minor. And then we've got an F. I could just do an F chord down here. So that's one way of doing that. And you might think, I want to stay up here in the one spot. You can do that too. So I'll just show you that first version again. So I've got C, G, A minor. Okay, so you've got 2 options there. Now, another way might be to find all the chords in this area for that. So there's a C, and the next one was a G. Well, the nearest G, there's a G here, which I would call an A shape on the 10th fret. So I'd get used to going from this shape, which is to this shape, which a lot of people hate, this horrible shape here for a lot of people. It's an A shape to the 10th fret. And the next A minor, there's A minor here. And then there's a F here. So that's what... So it's kind of fun to have that. But the coolest way to program that is to do this. If we go, okay, we took C as the example, right? And you can do this for any chord. Here's my open chord, C. So where's my other versions of C? I've also got a C, there's a C here. There's also a C with a G shape here from that C note here. And there's also from that same C note, there's this E shape, which we started with. And then we've also got a D shape. It's a weird way to play that, but you've got basically a little D shape here. And so you've got, now I've got all these different ways of playing a C, which is hard to memorize. So what I would do is do this. This is a programming technique. So you've got the C. So let's say I'm programming the C here at the 8th fret. C. I go C, 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 C. I just just be doing that, getting used to playing that one after the other and replacing it. So first time around, I might play that C. Next time around, I might play that C. And you're telling your subconscious, oh, there's another place I can do that chord. And the same, I wouldn't do more than the one chord at the same time, meaning 2 chords going from the basic C, which you already know, to the new version of the C. And I'll just get used to doing that for maybe a week. So if the song was the one we were just doing C, G, A minor, F, I just get used to playing it like that for a while. Next time around, I might get used to playing it. So might with the what other versions? That version, like that's just another version. And there's lots of ways we can play chords like that. I hope that helps. It's a really cool way of doing it, just breaking it down and going, here's a totally different, the song I already know, but in a totally different way of playing it. And that builds your confidence. Quite fun. And then get it programmed. So hopefully that helps. I always say hopefully that helps. I'm sure it will. Of course, any of you guys want to get in touch with me and do some sessions, do some lessons, I'm hanging out to meet you. It's really simple to do. Just click on the link. It's simple. You can pay through PayPal. It's really easy to do. It's not overly expensive, depending on what part of the world you're in, obviously, and exchange rates and things like that. So it's actually a lot easier and a lot less stressful than people think when they do a session. A lot of times they think they're going to get the one session because they're a bit afraid to do any more. And some of those guys I'm still teaching today because we have so much fun and we hang out, get to know each other, and yeah, it's really cool. We get to know each other's families. I know in the last few weeks, unfortunately, most of the guys have had some sort of form of COVID or their family, and so they've all been locked up in their bathrooms in one case with Tom. He was in his bathroom Skyping me from there, and they're all fine. They're doing great, but yeah, so there's a few people suffering at the moment. So awesome. Any other questions out there, guys? Definitely helped. Thanks so much, bro. Cheers, Amro. And I'm glad I didn't get your name mixed into 2 like I did with you, Meldon. Sorry about that. Hey, Mark, when I bar chords, do I have to make sure all the strings barred have to be heard when individually picked, or is it normal for a few notes to not make it through? Because it gets harder up the frets. Yeah. So, yeah, you're right. When we squeeze these chords right up here, this is the first, like, especially that C chord I was just doing. This finger here is the culprit, right? This is the one. This is the little annoying one right there. So I'll come down a little bit. And that is normal, by the way, to have that. The trick is just to keep persevering. Eventually your entire chord will sound amazing. You've just got to start out in a good spot. Now, the trick is to get your chord as high as possible. So my little finger, see, look at this shape here. If you notice, this finger is right up against the fret. Look at that. It's probably a bit better there. Right up against the fret. We're trying to get the angle here. I'm in reverse. But you see the finger above it? It's a mess. See how low it is? There's all that space and real estate right here. See, there's this big space right here. Now, I can't do anything about that. It's impossible for me to fix. With the size of my fingers, they're not ridiculously big, but you get issues there. But so you want to make sure that second finger is the highest you can possibly get it, right? If this is too low, you're going to have issues with these guys straight away. Look at that. See how they're way out? Now, if I slide that finger right up against the fret, now when I place those 2 fingers as tight as I can, and my little finger's almost in the next fret, it's so high, then I put my bar on. Now, a lot of people put their bar on first. That's what goes wrong. They go this, and then that first finger, that second finger is going to be too far back, and they end up with this note that's like, you end up with this issue, right? So you've got to try and spread it out a little bit further to the highest position. Now, I've got every note in there because I know how to get all my notes in there. But if I go up further, soon enough, it's there. Can you hear that one buzz? That's just starting to lose it. Oh, that's hot. That's really uncomfortable, but somehow I'm managing it. I've got electric guitar, so it's easier. It's softer strings, right? But really hard to get that shape in there. So good question. Just go high position and persevere over time. You'll notice with an acoustic especially, really hard to do. What about minor chords? So minor chords is going to be even worse, isn't it? Because when we take the second finger off, what we have now is we're relying on this finger being solid the whole way up. But the problem is, I don't know about your fingers, but my fingers, I'm trying to get a good angle here. Let's go to camera. See the wrinkles? If I do this, can you see where the wrinkles are? So those wrinkles, they're like little valleys. And so the valleys are going to be difficult. When you push the valley onto the string, the valley is possibly going to be the weakest part of the bar chord. So what you might find with the bar chord for C minor, for example, I'm just doing that C again. What you might want to do is make sure that the first finger is especially right up against that fret and rolled round on its side. So I'm not actually barring on here, I'm barring on this edge of my finger. I'm trying to use the side slightly, not too much, not here, but some sort of variety between the two. I'm slightly hooking that first finger. That's some of the things. Now, if you're still getting, if you're getting like, I'll try and give you an example. Usually it's this G string. Usually it's that third string from the bottom, this one here, that's the issue. I can't actually get a problem with it because this guitar is beautifully set up. So I just have to think C minor and it does C minor. So it's a bad example. But on an acoustic, I could definitely get this. If I have the little crease on a string, what I do is just lift my bar up a millimeter more. So here's my bar, this one here. Just watch this finger. Now, if I just come up a little bit like this, now it's in a different spot. Now that string is no longer in that crease or in that valley. You might find that's better for you if you want to try that Meldon. So either that way, or you might already be too high with this finger. You might want to come down a bit. You just find the right spot until that goes away. That's usually the issue. Or you're hooking too much, and so you're actually not getting strong here, but in the middle it's lifting. So you end up with a little bit of a, look at that little gap there. I'm exaggerating, so you want to flatten that off. So, and the other thing with this minor, this finger comes off, right, for this particular minor. I used to sit this on top just to push it. So I had two fingers. I had this one on, and on this one, it was this big brother right here was just going, and bullying this one to help get that extra minor. So hopefully those tips help. All right, guys. So we've got Amro and Meldon. You guys are smashing it out today, making sure I've got lots of questions. It's good to see you guys again. It's probably the perfect time for you to be doing this, probably wherever you are in the world. But yeah, we had an absolute nightmare week where unfortunately we got hacked, and that was pretty stressful. The channel got taken over, and all of a sudden it was advertising Ethereum and cryptocurrencies, and some sort of scam was going on. YouTube noticed it, and eventually they brought the whole thing down. So I noticed it in the morning because friends of mine were saying, hey, look, something's going on your site. And good to see you. You scared me this week. Greets from the Netherlands. Oh, cheers, Marco. I've got a good mate of mine, Faisal, who lives in, I think he's in Rotterdam. And so love the Netherlands. And he's one of my brothers. In fact, he was one of the first guys I called, like, help, what do I do? I've been hacked, because they got into my Google. They got into everything behind the scenes, and everything was disappearing before our eyes. We couldn't get into anything. They locked us out of everything. So it was a very, very scary time. So we're still fighting that today. YouTube's been amazing. We managed to get in touch with them, and obviously we're here doing this, but otherwise, in other areas, you think you've blocked something or changed a password, and then somehow they get in there and start taking things out. So it's been a stressful time. So, but the good news is we're still going, and we're even more excited about doing all the content. It's just like the devil is real. The devil is real. Definitely doesn't want us to be doing guitar lessons, that's for sure. It's been 3 times now we've had a massive issue with trying to do YouTube videos. So hopefully that's the end of it now, guys. But with your support, I keep blacking out every now and again. Hopefully everything's all good. That might just be my headphones. And hopefully not running dead batteries. Akita, everything looks all good? She can let me know. So yeah, hopefully you guys have had an awesome week, and we look forward to seeing you back here again on the same space. Have a look out for some new videos coming out very shortly. We are still working on those, and we've got some exciting series coming up. Dudes, thank you so much for coming and chatting and asking questions. It's been real fun, and I look forward to seeing you again soon. So I'm just going to play and have a little bit of a jam just because I feel like it. And I'm going to play the same backing track because it's ready to go, and I'll just play it out. Let's do it. Cheers, guys.